South Africa will present its genocide case against Israel over its offensive in Gaza at the UN's highest court in The Hague today. Tel Aviv is expected to defend itself in the International Court of Justice tomorrow after Pretoria filed the lawsuit last month.
Yeah, more than 23,000 Palestinians have been killed in the enclave following a surprise attack on Israel by Hamas on the 7th of October last year. That incident led to the death of about 1,200 people, while 200 more were taken hostage. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo begins our coverage.
South Africa's 84-page application against Israel will argue that the Middle Eastern country has breached the United Nations Convention on Genocide in its retaliation to Hamas's attack on 7 October last year. Over 1,200 people were killed in that alleged terror operation. The binding order that South Africa seeks condemns that 7 October attack in the strongest terms, but will argue that Israel has since gone beyond self-defense in its response. As it stands, the Gaza Health Ministry says at least 23,000 people have been killed, while close to 60,000 injured by Israeli bombs and guns. President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed his confidence in the all-star legal team that will be representing the country at The Hague, where South Africa will be making arguments for why it has the jurisdiction to bring the matter before the ICJ and calls for an immediate cessation of the military operation in Gaza.
In The Hague will tomorrow begin hearings in the proceedings brought by South Africa against the State of Israel for its crimes committed against the Palestinian people. Our opposition to the ongoing slaughter of the people of Gaza has driven us as a country to approach the International Court of Justice.
But Israeli President Isaac Herzog has rubbished this litigation. Instead, he's accused South Africa of hypocrisy after Pretoria refused to arrest a former Sudanese president, Omar al-Bashir, in 2015. At the time, the International Criminal Court had issued a warrant of arrest against him.
On Thursday, a proceeding will start in the International Court of Justice in The Hague, whereby South Africa has sued Israel for supposedly genocide. There's nothing more atrocious and preposterous than this claim.
World-renowned human rights lawyer Francis Boyle, who's won 2 cases before the ICJ, expects the role and alleged complicity of the United States to also come under the spotlight.
And I believe South Africa will win. And indeed, they've won already by getting hearings before the court on Thursday and Friday.
Boyle adds that beyond the relief sought at the ICJ, the matter will have consequences for Israel at a multilateral level.
Republic of South Africa then can take their order to the Security Council for enforcement as provided for by the United Nations Charter. And if the Americans veto enforcement, as they did Nicaragua's order, then South Africa can take their order to the UN General Assembly for enforcement against Israel under the Uniting for Peace resolution. The consequences for Israel could be quite serious. The General Assembly could suspend Israel from participation in its activities, like it did to the criminal apartheid regime in South Africa.
Part of the binding order the application seeks is for Israel to immediately stop the displacement of Palestinians, as well as allow critical supplies such as medication, food and water into Gaza. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo in Johannesburg.